sta funzionando, non so quando dovrebbe fare la...
Ma no. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I invite you to warmly welcome the participants of the 30th edition of the MBA in International Business Program. Dear MBA 30, distinguished guests, MIB faculty and staff, and extended MIB community, including those who are following our ceremony on live streaming. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the graduation ceremony of the 30th edition of the MBA in International Business Program. Today is a day of celebration that has come through hard work, perseverance, and dedication, something especially true of this year and this MBA. Dear participants, I believe that today is an occasion that you will never forget. It is an important day also for your families and friends, as this achievement would have not been possible without their support and encouragement. Ho il piacere di porgere un caloroso benvenuto anche in italiano alle famiglie e amici dei nostri diplomati che li hanno sostenuto e incoraggiati durante quest'anno e che oggi sono qui per festeggiare assieme a loro questo importante traguardo. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce our Dean, Professor Vladimir Nanut, who will now give his speech.
Good morning to everybody. Distinguished guests, faculty colleagues, families, friends, and members of the graduating class, it's also my great pleasure to welcome you all to this ceremony. We gather today to celebrate a moment of value of the life of our MBA candidates. And the celebration this year is more significant than ever. As a matter of fact, we will gather today for the first time after the difficult situation experienced in the global health emergency. We have been separated due to the lockdown and due to the restrictions. So this graduate ceremony represents the first moment of reunification between MBA colleagues and MBA faculty. It's very nice that we meet all together again, but we must be careful as the virus is still circulating and we must act responsibly. As you know, in order to be full compliance with the governance measures, in March, we were forced to suspend all in-class activities. But Thanks to the competence and willingness of our teachers and staff, we provided continuity to all our program in progress, turning in few days all the residential courses into distance learning. To be ready to face any further future scenario, the school in the last months has invested in the best distance learning technologies that will support both classroom learning and e-learning. We have extraordinarily improved the digital system for smart learning that has allowed us for over 15 years to also work in distance mode for the large corporation clients as Allianz, Generali, Intesa San Paolo, Fincantieri, Knauf, and many others. I want to thank the MIB team for its outstanding work, but also mainly you, MBA graduates, for your flexibility, passion, and commitment in adapting at the unexpected and challenging situation to achieve your goal and realize your MBA dream. Facing and managing with success unforeseen difficulties and changing conditions is one of the top skills required for today's leaders. You have proved to be really ready for that. Be proud of the degree you have deserved. The MBA in International Business is a meaningful program for our school. Has been the first program we developed starting in 1990. Despite the today wide portfolio, this program, your MBA, remains the flagship program of the school that bears its name. And as you know, your MBA boasts the accreditation by the Association of MBAs, the most important international accreditation for MBAs. And it accredits only 2% of the business schools in the world. Confirming the international position and the quality recognitions, innovating the training offer and strengthening the links with the corporate world, these are some of the goals that MIB has set to grow and to offer valuable benefits both to the students and businesses. Dear graduates, MBA 30, first of all, congratulations on completing the long and challenging pathway that has led to this graduation. I want also congratulate parents, families, and friends who supported, sustained, and strengthened you. But let me thank also the faculty members that I see here today, many of them, who have taught and mentored you, and the member of MIB team who have worked so hard to make your time among us comfortable and fruitful in these uncertain times. As all the moment of transition, this ceremony is an occasion both to think through the past and to consider the future that lies before you. I'm convinced that your future will be bright, as you are now equipped with one of the great degrees in education, the Master in Business Administration of MIB Trieste School of Management. As our graduates, you are now called to become the leaders capable to drive, influence, stimulate, plan, develop, and implement finally, to make the difference to people and organizations you will work with. And as a future leaders, You will have to find the right balance between personal ambitions and social responsibility, using core ethical values as the basis for your thinking and leading. In the school's vision, a good leadership refers not only to competencies and skills, but to ethics. Having this in mind, we embrace the Latin motto Recta Tueri as school slogan. This motto is carved in the marble under the statue of Emperor Ferdinando Habsburg in the facade of this palace, and remind us the need to always preserve the values of the most rigorous rectitude. MIB Trieste School of Management believes and supports the growth of new management class that cultivates and defends the common good, knows the value of sacrifice, and enhance the principle of meritocracy, perseverance, and commitment. I invite you to give the evidence of being that kind of leaders through a behavior inspired by values of personal integrity and social accountability. Respect your followers, be fair, loyal, and honest. We work hard for the community goals. Dear graduates, MBA 30, from today on, as our ambassadors in the world, you have to uphold the name and the prestige of MIB Trieste School of Management. We will follow your professional progress closely, and we will be always by your side. Moreover, we need you. Your advice and your support will help us to expand and to better make our activities, to develop new projects, and to bring the members of our networking closer together. We will always be happy to welcome you in the Ferdinandeo Palace, the common home of alumni of MIB Trieste School of Management. Finally, my very best wishes for your future, for your career, but also for your personal growth. And ad maiora, thank you.
Now I invite Professor Andrea Traconia, the Academic Director of the MBA in International Business Program, to take the floor.
Dear all, dear MBA graduates, I feel very honored to be here in front of you as the Academic Director of this program to address a speech. And I'm so happy this is taking place in this hall, in this building, back again after so many months when we could not, work together because of the pandemic. If graduations have always been special moments of this school's life, this graduation has even a more special meaning. Well, as a matter of fact, if you reflect upon this, we have been knowing for a long time that even before the lockdown, that this MBA edition would be memorable. Why so? For a very simple reason. This is the 30th edition of the longest standing program of this school. So 30 years are, a number very worth to be celebrated. But actually, besides this special number, all the rest was meant to be quite normal. I mean, this was expected to be an edition of continuity and consolidation along the lines set in the past. First of all, along the academic standards, which we set in the summer of 2019, together with the accreditation agencies after their positive visit to the school, and along the strategic threads set by the school board in the last years. In particular, the strong focus on the financial industry and on new topics, data management, for example. So we had a very clear idea where to go. And we had an ambitious plan to walk down with you. Several hundreds of classroom hours, which we planned to spread over more than 100 days. 20 different courses, both compulsory, elective, almost 50 examinations, dozens of individual group works and sessions or feedback orientation activities, very demanding on-the-field projects. And on top of this, we also plan to have a number of corporate visits, meetings with managers, exchange programs abroad, a number of international study tours. All this was within our plan. Well, on top of this, this MBA was also expected to repeat the magic of turning an outstanding group of individuals with different backgrounds coming from different regions of the world, with different professional experiences and national cultures into a very strong and effective team. So we had in mind lectures, exams, team building, personal development mainly. And this is pretty much what we have been doing over the first 5 months of this MBA, up until February 24th, the day when the full lockdown of training activities and of our social life was set. From that day, everything has changed radically. What happened to the school? March 2020 was quite critical for us because it was signed by the full interruption of all the residential training activities, the online rescheduling of all the master courses, the rapid adoption of new smart working policies for all the school staff, the substitution, yes, of lecturers which could not deliver their training activities online, and the partial revision of the curriculum, particularly for the elective courses. The definition of new guidelines for the online training practices, because, online is different than residential training, and we had to, focus very well on, the preservation of the effectiveness of training. We had also to select technological platforms, and we have many things to do in respect to the comparison of Teams, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, Zoom, and so on and so forth. And also we had to train the MIB staff and teachers on the advanced use of these platforms so that we could deliver remotely the training programs of the school to the community of students. Meanwhile, you of course, you didn't just wait for the events to occur. You had to adapt to new patterns of daily life and to the new challenges of the pandemic. A few of you had to return home to the home countries where they could follow again the training, but from distance and from many kilometers of distance. So it wasn't easy for us and for you to manage this transition, in particular for you to manage this intense study agenda and also to keep, to preserve and to keep high your commitment and dedication to this MBA. A symbolic date for this school was May 11th. Why so? Because we were allowed, according to the decrees by the Italian government, to reopen the school premises to the students, not to deliver the traditional training, but in full compliance to the safety measures to carry out some other training activities, for example, exams, laboratories, tutoring, and to give you also access to the building, to the library, or whatever. So we could, again, meet at least a few of you. However, most of the activities, they continued to be delivered and to take place remotely. In the end, by early June, we have completed all the courses of this MBA, as we had planned 1 year ago. So we could stick to the original plan, at least for the completion of the activities. And we could open the final phase of the MBA, the thesis preparation. And during this summer, you have been working hard and effectively on your final dissertations, which you have defended very well in these very last days. So we must congratulate with you for these achievements and for your resilience. Here we are today, ready, in your case, to receive your well-deserved MBA degree. And now a question opens up. How valuable is this qualification today in a, pandemic environment? This is an important issue, as you are realizing that there are new realities in the post-pandemic world, in the post-pandemic economy. As you know, most companies have frozen their recruitment plans and postponed them up until the unknown end of the emergency. What we know for sure, anyway, is and we are convinced about this, is that even in a challenging post-COVID-19 world, MBA degrees, they remain a unique career enhancer. And the only established standard and the winning format in postgraduate management education. This is particularly true for the few MBA programs which hold, as this one, an international accreditation. So we firmly believe that the intrinsic quality of this MBA will help you open many doors in the world of business and will significantly speed up your future career. Also thanks to some elements which make this MBA unique. It's a cross-functional, interdisciplinary vision of business, which is a combination of hard and soft skills. Its emphasis on the development of international capabilities on managers, and it's a strong leverage on some of the school's key areas of expertise, in particular insurance, finance risk management, but also innovation and entrepreneurship. In approaching the closing of this speech, it is just the right time to giving thanks to people, as Professor Nanud also made. First and foremost, to your beloved family members, to your beloved dear friends who are with you at this ceremony, or they are, somewhere else, but, present in spirit. Second, to the school staff, both, administrative, academic, who have enthusiastically contributed to the program in the good and in the bad times. But there are a few specific individuals that have supported you throughout the MBA, which I want to thank in specific, one by one. So thanks, Victoria Pletz, the program manager, for having been the bridge between you and the instructors. taking care daily of all the MBA operations and all your needs. Thanks, Tim Baxter, the MBA co-director, for having helped you become stronger individuals and stronger teams, showing you the way, different ways to exploit your potential and express in full your talents, not only on the technical side. Thanks, Barbara Vidotto, for having worked hard, even in this very different, landscape, with such a different job market, to help you define your career orientation and facilitating the encounters and the meetings with the corporate world. Thanks, Barbara Sepic, as well, the admission officer, for having managed so well the selection of such a talented group of people. But enough with the thanks. Let's focus again on the protagonists of this ceremony, the MBA graduates. So tomorrow you'll be free from your educational duties and free to move and settle wherever you want. It is very hard, of course, to imagine which country, which company you'll be in a few years from now, or which role you will cover. What we know for sure is that your future success is, for us, a very safe bet, because we know your value, we know your potential. But yet, this ceremony is not meant to be a goodbye. It's an arrivederci, because you remain at the center of the MIB community. And there will soon be, as Professor Nanoud recalled, new meeting opportunities with you, either at the school or within the Alumni Association. So I close this speech with the expression of my sincere congratulations and best wishes to all the graduates of this 30th edition of the MBA in International Business. Very well done. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Professors Nanoud and Traconia are not the only members of the faculty who would like to celebrate this moment with you. As you can see, we have a number of professors with us here today. Unfortunately, not everyone could come. Each of the following people wanted to send you best wishes.
In these weird times, I'm really pleased to congratulate with you for ending this very tough journey. It is usually a very tough journey, but I'm sure it has been tougher than ever this year. But you made it. You really have all my appreciation. It was great meeting you in class. I look forward to meeting you in a short while when the food will be there. Take care.
Dear MBA graduates, Laura and I want to wish you all the best for your future. The year you spent at the MIB Trieste School of Management was very particular because of COVID-19. Because of this, your experience was very different from the usual one, but you showed flexibility, a spirit of sacrifice, resilience, and focus on the target, perhaps not always, but we are human. I think the best I can wish for you is always to maintain the approach you had during the last month, because it can help to overpass most of the difficulties you can face during your professional and personal life. The difference between the success and the failure is based on many elements, but one of them is, for sure, the spirit you adopt to face and overpass the problems. To end, it was great to know you, and remember, finance is like a medicine. Sometimes the taste could be horrible, but it is useful. Bye-bye and good luck.
What a crazy year it's been, everybody. Who would have guessed that we'd be graduating the year in the way we are? First of all, I'd just like to congratulate every single one of you for this incredible achievement. It's richly deserved. You've managed to get through this program under incredible, unprecedented circumstances, so you should be extremely proud of what you've achieved. I was privileged to be one of the faculty that had an opportunity to actually meet you in person before the pandemic struck, so I'm especially happy that you've made it through, and it's been an absolute pleasure and honour to work with you. Do take an opportunity to celebrate safely and enjoy this moment of wonderful success. I hope we'll be able to stay in touch in the future through LinkedIn and email and so on, and please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you'd like to. And one more time, congratulations, you fully deserve this, and thank you again. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you.
To complete these video messages, we have a surprise for you.
We plan to fly to MIB on this special day to say congratulations and give you a big hug. Anyway, we fought our best to show up together in front of you from 4 different cities with all means of transportation: plane,
high-speed rail,
subway,
taxi,
crossing 800 meters to England College.
just to say congratulations to you. We miss and cherish the day when we face keys in the morning, discuss theory classes, had a creative overnight together.
Later, we were in different places over Italy and China, but we experienced the same epidemic which had a huge impact on the world. In the torrent of the times, our destiny is still closely linked. This epidemic gave us a long-term solitude time that we have never had before. But also, we have realized how precious our relationship is.
Our dear friends, congratulations! We are here in Lingnan College of Sun Yat-sen University, waiting for you to come to China. You can feel the Chinese culture, local customs, and much delicious foods. And we can travel all over China together.
We look forward to seeing each other again.
Congratulations!
Ciao.
A big hug to Jessica, Rain, Lily, and Stephen, our Chinese exchange students from Lingnan College. Thank you for being part of MBA 30. Dear MBA 30, now it is time to officially celebrate your efforts. I invite Professor Nanut and Professor Traconia to join me in presenting your diplomas. On behalf of the faculty committee, the school is pleased to confer the MBA in International Business degree to the following. From Canada, Ahmed Ali. From Egypt, Marwa Al-Maria. From Italy, Laura Barbarino. From Italy, Alessandro Bin. From India, Saurabh Singh Chauhan. From Chile, Claudio Jesús Díaz Bustos. From USA, Vincent Di Tomaso. From Italy, Lara Lo Schiavo. From Italy, Pierluigi Mattei. From Italy, Fulvio Signoretti. From Italy, Andrea Nicolò Spadoni. From Italy, Chiara Zaupa. From Italy, Luca Zenaro. The school is pleased to confer the MBA in International Business degree with honors to the following. From Italy, Giovanni Agostino. From Argentina, Marcos Giovannoni. From Slovenia, Mateja Hrvatin Koslovic. From Italy, Enrico Regolin. From Brazil, Bruno Sampaio Vidor. From Italy, Rong San. The school is pleased to award the MBA in International Business degree with high honors to the following. From Argentina, Arturo Federico Meyer. Congratulations to you all. Can I ask Tim Baxter to briefly guide me through the MBA journey with the help of several members of the course?
That's better. Congratulations, guys. It's very strange for me to be speaking right now, because usually I speak right after Trakonia, which means you have to listen to me. But now you've got a diploma, I know you're not going to listen to me. So I think this speech is more for everybody else rather than for you. So what we're going to do is this. If you remember back to the first day, if you have a good memory, this was one of the main things that Valeria and I, my colleague Valeria Forzano from Leadership Dynamics, kept on pushing. Yeah? Maybe not this particular image, but okay, expect the unexpected. And part of the Leadership Dynamics course is very much through a methodology called simulation. What are simulations? Simulations are games. They're hopefully games that are involving games where people feel that they can take part in it. And the idea is to put people in a context which recreates a situation which is not so far away from real life. So it's a metaphor. And then have a look at how they behave, and then see, in terms of behaviors, how effective they were. Well, that's a basic methodology that we like to use. And after the game part is the learning part. And the learning part is feedback. It's very important, and it follows more or less exactly the same order every time. And the first one is, how do you feel? What were your first impressions on the simulation? Then the second one is, what happened? What did you do? Then the third of the 4 questions is, what did you learn? And finally, we've got the future. How are you going to implement what you learn in order to be, say, better equipped for the future? So that's the basic idea. Now, I thought what we could do today is to try and do an experiment. And an experiment is, what's the difference between theory and games and reality? And I'm very honored to be able to try this experiment out. I have no idea how it will go. This experiment will not just be with me, but also with a number of your colleagues who are not actually here, And I chose these people because it meant they would have to get up very early in the morning. That's the only reason why I chose them, okay? So here's the idea. Basically, in terms of leadership, what we like to do is we give you the elements and we ask you to play around with them. Okay, so here's the process, here's the, not just leadership, generally I would say for the MBA. Here are the basics, play around with them, experiment, try things out. Now, when we do that, you guys are a part of the simulation, but we're not. So basically we have quite a lot of control. And then this came along, and suddenly we were part of the simulation as well. Suddenly, it wasn't anything we actually understood. So what I'd like to do is to go through this year of your MBA using also this big simulation of COVID to find out what happens. I'll give you the theory, and then I've got some of your colleagues who will tell us how they lived section by section. We'll start off with a basic model, which all the MBA know. I know that because they did it in their exam. And it's called the transition curve. In other words, how do people live change? Okay, and it starts off right at the beginning. And at the beginning, the basic idea is what's called denial. And denial can take two different forms. The first one is, let's just think about the past. In other words, in English you say rose-tinted spectacles or glasses. So looking at the past and just remembering the good things. And I have a perfect example of that, because I asked the MBA to send me photos of 4 different moments during the year. And I received 3 times as many photos in this first section than in the others. In other words, they liked all the stuff at the beginning because it was fun. Yeah? So that's one way of dealing with denial. Another one, so just looking at the past, looking at the nice bits of the past. But there's a second bit, which is head in the sand. Yeah, just pretending it's not happening. It will pass by, it will pass by. Let's go to the reality here. In the beginning, well, 1 year ago, this was Bruno when he wasn't in Brazil, but he was picking up this plank of wood here, which I believe will also be used today, hopefully. So that's 1 year ago. You can see some similarities. Less masks 1 year ago. Okay. How can I summarize the idea of this first moment of this phase of change? Interaction. Of the photos that I received, it was interaction, interaction, interaction. In class, there you go, just a couple of examples of various class activities, either in the training room or outside together. I won't go through all of them, but the MB know every single one of those there. I do like the Claudio as a Christmas tree. We're far right for you. Yeah? But not only there, also out and about, because the MBA didn't just stay in the basic activities here. Here is the MBA sporty version. We've got some of these were organized by the school, and many of them weren't. So here we have MBA out and about. And finally, let's call it beyond school hours. I've put up a selection of photos I'm allowed to put up. There were many others I was not allowed to put up. Okay, so that's the basic idea. And now that's my take on the first section. But what I thought would be good in terms of the experiment is to ask somebody who lived that with you what he thought of the first few months. So, Vince, are you with us? And here I'm hoping that Vince will appear. Can we change? I don't know if we're able to change the... 1 second, Vince. Let's see if we can get you up on the big screen. Oh, looking good. Hang on. Now, I don't know if your microphone is enabled or not. Just let me have a look. You're okay. Yeah, you should be able to speak, Vince. Can we hear you? Hello, Vince.
Tim, you have to unmute him.
I believe, let me just check here.
Okay.
It should be okay. It should be okay. Okay, Vince, I don't know if you can hear us. If you can, let us know if we can hear you. Oh dear, that's not a good start, is it, ladies and gentlemen? Huh? That's always a danger with the experiments. Let's just see what we can do here. I'll mute Can you try? No, that's muted. Unmute. One second, Vince. No. Yes. Now, whilst Vince, I think you have to unmute yourself, Vince. I'm not sure if you're able to do that. Okay. Can you do that? No. Okay. Yes. Okay, well, I've got here in chat, unmuted, okay, on my computer. Interesting. We can't do much, actually, here on this one here, Vince. This is a bit difficult. Now, whilst hopefully Vince finds a way of getting us to be able to hear him, I've got to say that I believe you're in Chicago, Vince. Can you just give us a thumbs up if you're in Chicago? Yes, okay. Well, that's a good start. And Chicago is something ridiculous in the morning. Okay, you can nominate there someone to, okay, do you have a nomination of somebody who remembers the first couple of months? If you want to nominate someone, fair enough. Now you're in trouble, people, aren't you? Claudio. Okay, right. Claudio, the stage is yours. Tell us about the first couple of months. Thank you, Vince.
Expect the unexpected. Thank you, Vince. What can I tell you? The first months for us were the best ones. We had the opportunity to share each other, to meet each other, to, let's say, team shows us in the different pictures. We can go for football, to play a lot. We can go to do things, to cook here together. It was the moment when we, let's say, we started really happy over here. Even if some of the first courses were difficult for some of us, this change, I mean, for the ones that didn't study in the last years, probably was difficult also to come back and study for the first times in the first lectures. I'm not so sure if this was the speech that you had prepared, Vince, but I would say that probably more or less that was our feelings in the beginning. Excelente. Grazie, Cadi.
Thank you so much, Vince. Awesome, it's excellent. And thank you, Claudio, for that amazing turnaround. Right, now hopefully our technical team are helping us out, and hopefully that's going to be fine. Thank you very much, Vince. We're going to move on here. So more or less my experiment is working, not in terms of technical, but in terms of the realities following more or less the model. But hey, we've got a long way to go. After denial, in other words, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen to me, suddenly we go into resistance, which is, oh my God, it is happening, it's happening to me, and it's really not fair. So very much, what did I do to deserve this? Why me? It's all against me. Yeah, and this is a very difficult phase. I feel alone. Basically, that's the main thing. You feel alone. You feel alone with your studies. You feel alone from everyone else, just cut off from everybody else. And that has a big impact, as you can see. Yeah? So it's a tough time, ladies and gentlemen. And after that initial time, people are attempting to try and understand how they can get out of this deep trough, this rut. And there are various ways, as you can see here. Laura's having trouble staying awake. So is Lara here from this one here. Over here, Piero is having trouble keeping his head up. Was that during one of my lessons? It was, wasn't it? and Laura's thinking of another life, which is nice. And then from there, you go to desperation. I don't even know who that person is in the middle at the top. Oh, okay, fine, okay. And basically, it's a tough time. It's not easy to get through this idea of resistance. Now, I could have asked lots of different people to speak about this because there were quite a lot of Homo catastrophicus, as I do remember. But what I thought was, let's really test my experiment. Let's try someone who's very calm and laid back. And here I'm going to cross my fingers to hope that it will work. But I'm going to ask Ahmed over in Canada. Hopefully, can you hear us, Ahmed?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, can I have a round of applause for technology, please? And thank you so much, Igor, and sorry for my ignorance of not knowing what to touch. Now, where are you precisely in Canada? What do you have behind you as a screen saver there?
I'm actually currently still traveling, but I'm on my way back to Edmonton, Alberta, which is the photo that's right behind me right now.
Fantastic. And listen, can you just tell us what time it is? What's the local time?
It's the same local time as Italy, so I'm not too far away.
Okay, fine. Okay, so I'm feeling guilty. Thank you so much for looking presentable at this time. Can you tell us a little bit about how you lived this resistance moment? I mean, you're a laid-back guy, but I'd like to get your take on this.
Okay, so for the period of January to March, we're returning from our holidays. My first time in Europe. So I was coming back from a tour of Berlin, Vienna, Prague, Budapest, and for many, they're visiting family and friends. But during that time, we were still writing an assignment and studying for an exam. It was daunting to know that we had several months to go with no real breaks in between. We were going to have more classes on topics that we didn't know. We just completed the semester. But it was last year's cohort that told us it was going to be the toughest few months ahead of us. Then as we were getting into the flow of things, we were hit by COVID, and we had to worry about if our classes were going to continue, if we were going to finish our program, we would return to normal. We were all locked down for several weeks. We were not able to physically come together. So an already tough semester had even become harder for us. But we found a way to stay connected. We found ways to support each other. And I'm going to let my close friend and classmate, Bruno, explain how we actually came together after a tough time. But before I go, I want to say complimenti per la laurea. Congratulations, everyone on graduating.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. Round of applause for Ahmed, please. Thank you. So even the extremely optimistic and positive Ahmed was in trouble there a little bit. So my basic theory is still more or less intact. Let's go to the third part now. And we're going to move from resistance to, once you've got right down to the bottom, to something called exploration. And exploration is interesting because exploration is basically what next? You can start to see there are positive signs of movement, of progress. I'd just like to just show you a couple of examples of this from the MBA before we go off to Brazil, hopefully. So here's an example of the person we're about to speak to. As you can see, he's actually in his bedroom, and all the post-its behind him are helping him decide where he's going to go next. So he decided he could still travel into the future with his plans, despite being locked in his bedroom. If you go back to the video calls, yes, Zoom can be used for finance, but it can also be used for making tiramisu, which is exactly what the MBA did. So here is a tiramisu. I think, Chiara, you were in charge of that. The tiramisu making competition. Zoom calls can also be used for making friends across continents. Of course, Bruno has a glass of Coca-Cola there, or Pepsi, the other things that do exist. Of course, after cakes and wine, you probably need to keep fit, and that's also what the MBA did as well. So they used Zoom to keep fit. You can see at the bottom here, Piero doing his stuff, and then everyone else trying to keep up with him a little bit further up there. I do like Laura's little band there, very nice, okay. So here there's simple examples of the MBA using a situation, but beginning to use it in a way where they're getting some return rather than living it in a negative point of view. So, finally, new beginnings, ladies and gentlemen. I did forget about that. You start to think about the future. Now, I don't want to have any more information about that, but no. Let's go and also look at the fact that you can do job interviews dressed comfortably, or at least 50% dressed comfortably as well. So there are lots of options here, and that was in the stage when the guys were at home. And then, as Professor Tracogna said, they opened up to a limited amount the school as well. And here are also examples of exploration, which is the return into class. This is very interesting, like little animals going back into their class to regain their territory. And once they're there, they're very happy, even though the majority of people aren't there, and they do have to wear face masks. The new normal also extends to outside as well. So face masks, guys, I don't know how you've managed to eat. Okay. And finally, this is the MBA, I believe, on the day of your exam for the leadership dynamics. So this is the complete MBA, either physically present or distance present as well. Okay, so those are examples for exploration. That's from my point of view. But I think it's time to hear Bruno and his take on exploration.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can, thank you. Where are you, Bruno?
Brazil.
Brazil's a big country. Sorry?
Brazil, São Paulo.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yes.
Now, I believe we've given you an extra hour in bed compared to the other guys. What time is it in São Paulo?
It's 7 a.m.
Yes. Luxury. Okay, off you go, my friend. Tell us about this period for you in this particular part of your MBA.
Yeah, it was difficult for everyone, I guess, because we had to reinvent ourselves. The pandemic forced us to go to denial, to resistance, to exploration all over again. But something that gave us strength and it was super meaningful was the fact that when we saw each other again on June, end of May, and we realized that seeing each other again was a privilege now, changed the meaning of everything, you know? I saw that we could bond more, that we could see and live with our differences more, and all the time that we spent at the pandemic, we were planning to see each other again, so it was like the result of resilience, of, you know, looking to the future, and I mean, it was super special, and I miss you guys a lot, a lot.
Thank you very much, Bruno. Round of applause, please, for Bruno. Okay, now good news, ladies and gentlemen, there's only one more piece of this model. So let's have a look at it. It's called commitment, and commitment is this. Commitment is that the change is actually part of you. It doesn't mean you go backwards in time. It means that you've been able to deal with a change and it's now part of the options that you've got in front of you. Basically, in English, many people in English believe that 20/20 vision means perfect vision, but it doesn't. It means perfectly normal vision. Yeah, so someone who has 20/20 vision in English means they can see normally. With COVID, normal has changed. We got a new normal now. In other words, whatever vision you had for MBA 30 way back 1 year ago is no longer relevant. And so therefore, it shouldn't really be used to understand how much you took from it. The context has changed, and so therefore, we've got to have a look at what have you taken away that maybe you didn't even think you had beforehand. And that's this idea of commitment. New perspectives, the ability to see things from new perspectives, definitely important. The new normal, so taking the bus and looking cool in a mask, just part of everyday normality. Getting back together with old friends. And continuing to do whatever you did, I'm not going to ask you, Claudio, in the past. Okay, so a continuation of that. That looks like it really hurt. Okay. Have a look at this, guys. These are all images from the last part. And as you can see, and as Bruno said, this is not just interaction again. This is informed normality, informed present. What the people have taken from their experience of COVID, the goods and the bads, are actually informing the fact that they want to be together here in whatever way. Now, I'm going to finish off not with someone at a distance, but with someone actually here. So, Rong, over to you, please, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tim. Take off masks. So, commitment. Actually, I will tell a little bit about what happened after July to me and to my dear friends. First thing, finally the classes have finished. Even though we have to continue with exams and theses, first thing that came to my mind, embrace our lives. Go back to our lives and look for the beauty of what we have around us. So I will mention about the trip that I did with Gianna. We went discovering Dolomiti, discovering Cinque Terre, and I could saw the trip through the eye of a girl born in Rio who saw the Dolomites for the first time in her life. At the same time, when we were traveling, I was receiving pictures from Alessandro's group. They were visiting south of Italy. There are so many nice places like Trulli, like Colosseo, that they were sharing with all of us. So we were connected. Even we were traveling and visiting nice, beautiful places. For sure, Pizza's tours is best of all, and I promised Piero that I'm going to Naples soon after to visit him. And sure, I came back to my schedules. So beyond working very hard, I was thinking about my training plan for cycling. Everyone knows that I'm a cyclist, so I can tell you that you can cycle for 100 kilometers in a day with no problem. You need only a plan, a training, and a lot of commitment. That's all you need. Last thing, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to our international friends, so I really miss them all. But I know for sure that we are all connected, and our connection will not get lost, and for sure our connection is going to help us to be resilient and to be accountable for our future perspectives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rong. Thank you very much. And I do believe that more or less my theory is intact, more or less. Before I come to a brief conclusion about the ability of theory to inform reality, I'd just like to ask you just a very brief applause for our four friends, for Rong, for Vince, sorry Vince that you couldn't speak, for Bruno, and also for Ahmed. A round of applause for these guys for helping us out. Thank you so much.
Grazie tantissimo.
You can speak now, Vince, or not?
I guess. Can you hear me?
Oh! But Claudio basically said everything you wanted to say.
Claudio nailed it. My caddy and I, it's like Tiger Woods and Fluff. I don't know if you guys remember when Fluff was Tiger Woods' first caddy. They were on the same page, connected.
Fantastic. Thanks. I'm so happy we got you finally. So, what are my takeaways from this, ladies and gentlemen? My first takeaway is basically, first to have a look at this. The difference between theory and practice is larger in practice than the difference between theory and practice in theory. In other words, life is always different from theory. There's no getting away from it, yeah? So simply to say that what we can do here is speak about reality full stop, that's not true. However, I would say that theory helps us a lot in our ability to deal with reality. And so my takeaway from this MBA and that model is this: you're part of the context. The context is not externally from you. which means that when you go back into a role of responsibility, a leader and a manager, you take with you the main learning, I believe, from your year, your very particular, strange year, which is accountability. You heard the word from Ron, accountability. Is if I'm able to feel accountable for my actions, I'm going to be a much, much better leader. Thank you so much indeed, guys, for being with us this year. And please, as Professor Traconia and Nanut said, you're part of MIB. Thank you. Can we change back to the main? Perfect. No?
No. Can we change to the other presentation?
Yeah,
okay.
now on.
Okay. So, in the meantime, we wait for the old presentation. Now it's your turn.
You click on, it should go.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, we're there. So now is your turn. The penultimate speech is always given by one of the newly graduated. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of NBA 30, please welcome Arturo Meyer.
Hi, Dim. This is the amygdala speaking.
Good.
It's okay. Good morning to everyone. I feel deeply honored for being here delivering this speech on behalf of my classmates. I will start by mentioning and thanking all of those that brought support and comfort to us during the MBA. First of all, to the family, friends, and beloved ones that are here today or watching through live streaming. Thank you. For many of us, you are the reason we stand proud with our diplomas. I also want to thank the MIB School of Management and their staff, in particular to Professor Nanut and Professor Traconia for the academic offer we all subscribe to. Also, I would like to thank our program manager, Vicky Ples, for taking care of us through the entire MBA journey with extreme dedication. Vicky, you are part of us. Tim and Valeria, thank you for transforming a bunch of strangers into a group of friends. To Professor Piloto, for always indulging us the MIB spirit. To all of our professors that invested time and knowledge for us to become one day better professionals. Barbara Sepic, Barbara Bidotto, and in general to all the MIB School of Management members that supports the smooth running of this institution. Thanks to you all. And to the amazing city of Trieste that became our home for a year. We came to love some of its unique experiences, a charming sea, the best coffee in the world, dozens of spirits, and even the Bora. And now, you, my fellow classmates, we made friends. I know you may be thinking right now that I wrote this speech 6 hours before the deadline, as I did with all my assignments. But no, this time I did it in the bus this morning, so lower expectations. I wanted to start with the same words as every other MBA class speech in the past. Expect the unexpected. But to you, seriously, the class of 2020, a bunch of guys that decide to quit their jobs to do a one-year full-time MBA program, and 5 months after starting, a full-scale world pandemic broke through, changing your plans and dreams? No way. You are experts of the unexpected by now. Resilience is often defined as the capacity of a person to maintain its core values and integrity while overcoming difficulties. Resilience means that you experience, you think, you fail, you accept, and you fall. But you always keep going. And when I look at you, my dear classmates, I see some of the most resilient persons I came to know in my life. Treasure that, because it is a rare ability and will be very helpful for your future. You made this one of the best years of my life, starting from our early days, our first class, Vignano's Aviadoro, Italian aperitivos, cappuccinos after 11 a.m., and pizza in Casa Pepe. Our trips, Austria, my first time skiing, mountain Matayur, Slovenia, and Fernet con Coca-Cola. Also, I remember our most beloved Chinese friends. We miss you guys wherever you are.
They're online, huh?
Oh. then we miss them. Barcola, mountains, Paris, Argentinian asado in Alberobello, the vineyards of Enrico's uncle, Lucas Olive Oil, and North American sports sessions. Also Zagreb, online meditation, Brazilian music, living room gym classes, tiramisu, premantura, and Trestino lessons. Viva la Epobon. This is my MBA. Every single moment spent with you made my experience unforgettable. And then came the rest. Microsoft Teams, Zoom, GoToWebinar, and WebEx. Those are also part of our history now, and will be something to remember in a couple of years when we meet again. Finally, I want to convey the words of an old manager I met when I was starting to develop my career. This guy was referred to as an old pirate, which meant he knew all the tips and tricks of the business, especially to avoid work. He said to me, "Son, one day you will find yourself in front of the dilemma of working and living. You will have to choose if you will work to live or live to work. But above all, always find passion. You don't get to choose your passion. It will pick you. But when it happens, embrace it hard, because it gives you direction and purpose, and your work won't feel like work anymore. More than ever, it will feel like life." Unfortunately, soon after his words, this guy was fired because of poor performance. But the advice is good anyway. With some of you, this last MBA day will be a goodbye. Goodbye means I hope to see each other again one day. With others, this already happened, and you are watching us through live streaming, but the hope remains the same. We became a group that will be spread around the world, but also a bunch of friends that will be connected for the years to come. My friends, be resilient and find your passion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arturo. Well done. Dear graduates, you have successfully completed your educational path at MIB, notwithstanding the additional challenge of a global pandemic. This makes your achievement even more important, and as your program manager, I am immensely proud of you. Every year, graduation day brings many memories and emotions back to me. As the famous Uruguayan writer Eduardo Galano says in one of his books, recordar es volver a pasar por el corazón. Remembering is going back into one's heart. And what incredible memories we have from this year that we shared together. We have relived some of these memories just a few minutes ago through your own words and emotions. Yes, we certainly shared something unique and unexpected. We had to switch to remote by the end of February, and that implied going outside of our comfort zones and making a series of adjustments. The biggest challenge in transitioning to online was to stay focused and keep balanced, despite our new normal, which felt anything but normal. However, what might at first appear to be challenging also gave us the opportunity to learn something more about ourselves and as a group. In an increasingly digital era that tends to create isolation, our group became stronger. The sense of community among everyone in the team, no matter where each of us was, helped us to cope with uncertainty. Remote activities are not just about the using the right technology. They should also be about building a culture of trust and sense of belonging, collaboration between each other and encouragement, together with engagement and commitment, were all important elements that helped our group bond. By combining difficult and stressful situations with others, we were able to be calmer, more energized, and happy, and therefore we managed to accomplish a common goal. Together, we learned that there are things within our control that we can do something about, and there are matters that are outside our control that we can do nothing to change. That does not mean being careless and irresponsible. Instead, it empowers us to focus more on the things that we must do and we can do in the best possible way as we each go through our own school of life. Let's start doing that right now by taking one little step back to reflect on the entire MBA experience that you shaped together. It is an experience that will always be part of you and will last long beyond this ceremony. From now on, you can look back with great memories and look forward to broader horizons. It has been a pleasure and honor to work with you, and I will miss you. On behalf of myself and everybody in MIB, I wish you all the best in your professional careers and personal lives. Keep in touch, and I hope to see you in the near future. Thank you. Thank you so much. Before concluding the ceremony, I'd like to welcome the participants of MBA 31 that will be starting their program on the next days. Some of them are here with us today. We have a tradition to respect that started right at the beginning of the MBA graduation ceremonies, where the baton is passed from one MBA generation to the next one. In order to do so, I invite Laura on behalf of MBA 30 and Dominique on behalf of MBA 31. Please join me on the podium. Professor Piloto, can you help me?
Tradition of our school. Since 30 years, we run the most important program, the MBA in International Business. And Laura, you have the responsibility to transfer this to Dominique. As Dominique, next year, you have the responsibility to transfer to the next course. Please.
Welcome on day 31.
My honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our ceremony has reached the end. Please join us in the garden for a final toast. But first, I invite the graduates to stay in your places for the official photo. Thank you.